Hello YouTubers, RogueMonkeyJr here. Now just today a patch dropped for Battlefield 5 called Tides of War Chapter 3 Trial by Fire Update number 3. Boy, that's a mouthful. So there are a litany of fixes in here. I'm not going to go through the entire list because you all will die of boredom, and that is my 100% guarantee. I'm just going to go through some of the more important points. As always, there'll be a link in the description down below to the full patch notes, as well as any top pinned comment. So the patch is pretty massive. It's got 12.71 gigabytes. So I feel as though there's something else in this patch other than just some elite skins for your character models. Anyways, let's get stuck right into this. So first, for the vehicles, now there have been fixes to bugs across the board here. One of the more important things to note for the vehicles is reduced AA damage to fighters by 20%. Now, from my personal experience, I feel like it's always been a little bit difficult, especially to kill fighters in Battlefield 5, so I don't see what warranted this 20% damage reduction to them, especially on maps where there's a lot of cover for planes such as Fiel. So I really don't know why this has been changed. Lowered the audio volume of tanks that are very close to player. That's great because they were insanely loud. There are also, like I said, a bunch of changes here. Same for weapons, gadgets, and specialization fixes. There are like a ton of changes here. More notably, SMGs and assault rifles changed the way dispersion increases while firing in ADS. The second, third, and sometimes fourth for low rate of fire weapons are now more predictable, while later shots are less predictable. We also shortened the time it takes for dispersion to decrease when no longer firing. This means short bursts are a bit more effective, while long bursts or mag dumps are a bit less effective. So obviously, if you have a keen eye or keen sense of hearing, this was in the past update, but it was in there mistakenly. It wasn't really added to the game. So hopefully this time it really is. So making it so that mag dumps are even less effective than they were before. Also increased smoke thickness slightly and made coverage more even for regular smoke grenades. Improved netcode for bullet trajectories to prevent tracers and the actual bullets from being out of sync when playing Firestorm, as well as other netcode improvements that could previously cause inaccuracy between the client and the server. Improved explosive damage to do more consistent damage to moving targets. This makes damage more predictable in scenarios such as using dynamite against a vehicle that is moving at high speeds. Made shooting through barbed wire more consistent. That is great. It reminds me a lot of the goddamn guardrails in Battlefield 4. For some reason, one of my buddies would hit that every single time. Moving on, soldier fixes. So landing roll update. During the past few months, we've received a lot of feedback from players about the landing roll feature introduced in Battlefield 5. More specifically, the frustration of not having any control over it, to the point where players would just do their best to avoid a vault over obstacles that would result in a landing roll. Me being a part of these. With this update, we are giving players full control over the landing roll with the goal to make it an interesting choice when traversing the world. This means landing rolls aren't tied to vaulting anymore. They can be triggered from a simple fall by pressing the crouch button when hitting the ground. Players can trigger a landing roll if they hit the ground from a high enough fall. However, attempting a landing roll after a fall from a height that would normally be deadly will not be possible. So Twisted Steel's bridge is still deadly. A landing roll reduces fall damage by 40 HP, which gives you an incentive to actually use it. The first-person landing roll animation has also been updated. To balance out the heavy landings against the landing rolls, we've also made the animations a lot shorter. This means you will now recover much faster from a heavy landing fall. A few other soldier updates disabled the vault hand reach animation triggered when the obstacle is too high when the player is moving with enough speed. This will reduce the amount of cases where players trigger that animation when not intended. Players can now be revived after getting killed in a vehicle while playing Firestorm, Combined Arms, and multiplayer. Not sold on this one, to be honest. Suppression no longer delays the activation of passive healing. Reintroduced a healing effect that will only be visible at the edges of the screen when the player is currently healing from any sources, passive healing or pouch healing. This improvement is less intrusive than our previous implementation, but as always, we're open to feedback, so it's kind of like a yellow hue all around the screen. Improved how soldiers hold their weapons while parachuting to decrease the risk of the weapon clipping through the body. The grenade throw animation is now played if players decide to throw a grenade while also having a deployable gadget currently selected. Improved the position of sidearms in the soldier's hand when transitioning into laying down on their back. So maps and modes, lots of things here. I'm not even gonna bother going through them. There is way too many things. Also, general map improvements and operation balance changes. So Airborne, Panzerstorm, Breakthrough on Panzerstorm, Rush on Arras, and Hanut Grand Operations adjustments. Firestorm improved the victory screen, fixed an issue that was letting players leave and rejoin a game through their squads, so some kind of a reconnect feature. There's also a couple of other things here. UI, HUD options, assignments, and other changes. The most important, well, the second most important thing, Combined Arms now has matchmaking functionality. Yes! Y'all can finally go play that co-op mode you've been longing for. They also added a camera shake slider and advanced gameplay options that allow players to scale the strength of shakes between 50% and 100%. Default is 75, so you can find this setting under advanced gameplay options. This is a very nice addition. And the most important thing of this section of the patch notes, did you know that many Swedish pizzerias sell a pizza with grilled chicken, banana peanuts, and curry sauce? A much better choice than pineapple pizza. One word. What the actual fuck kind of pizza is that? Enough said. Stability made multiple crash fixes and stability improvements. So that's pretty much it for the Trial by Fire, or whatever they called it, number 3 update. On top of this, there are also some bugs that were introduced in the game. Notably, people are reporting that you can actually hit players for more than 100 damage before they actually get killed now, which is super weird. I haven't personally experienced this yet, but I'm sure I will if I played a little bit more. Just want to touch on the state of Battlefield 5 right now for me. I still don't think it's that much fun. The visibility is still really bad, and I think that's one of the biggest deterrents for me to actually play the game. I mean, it's getting to the point where, yeah, the bugs are getting fixed and a lot of the issues are getting fixed, but like stuff like visibility and 50% of the player base just laying down in a corner with a MMG bipoded just doesn't make the game interesting for me to play. Also, of course, lack of content and not being able to change your goddamn assignments in-game almost, 7 months after launch. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on the number 3 update for Trial by Fire. Let me know what you think of the state of Battlefield 5 as well. All of that in the comment section down below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.